Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Mataji, Dandat Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam.
Mataji, Dandat Pranam. Pravina Mataji, Dandat Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada. Shweta Mataji, you were in India?
Yes, Prabhuji, for like last 50 days, we came back on December 30th.
For how long you were out?
50 days, Prabhuji, like November 10 to December 30.
Oh, wow. It's a long time. Okay.
Yes, like after 3 years almost. So that's
Yeah, I
why.
was thinking, I haven't seen you in a while. So I was thinking that. Then Anandini, what's her name?
Ashwini Mataji.
Yeah, Anandini Kishori, I think. Yeah. She told me that you are in India. I said, oh, okay. Then I understand.
Yeah, yes, Prabhuji. Actually, I tried to join the classes sometimes because of some travel and all. I couldn't make it. Otherwise, I think like 2-3 classes I was able to join.
Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Danvat Pranam.
Prabhuji, Dandat
Hare
Pranam, Jai
Krishna.
Shri Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam.
Padma Mataji, Dandat Pranam, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam.
Soumya Mataji, Dandat Pranam. Soumya Mataji, I haven't heard you in some time, or you were there and I was just not noticing you.
No, I'm regularly joining Prabhuji.
Yeah, okay. Maybe I just didn't hear your sound. Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Sanjay Prabhu, Dandat Pranam, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam.
Abhinav Prabhu, Mansi Mataji, Dandat Pranam, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Danvat Pranam.
Yatin Prabhu, Dandat Pranam, Hare Krishna. Okay, we'll begin now. Om Adyantimirandhasya Dhyananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilutam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Sha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Sarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktatyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukham Karoti Vachalam Pangam Langayate Girim Yat Kripa Tamaham Vande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Okay, so we are continuing our discussion on Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu Nectar of Devotion. We are on 6th chapter. We are discussing the 64 items of devotional service. We began last week on this. We discussed 15 items. First, we discussed first 5 items. Like this is devotional service. We discussed how throughout Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is emphasizing devotional service, which is described by Prahlad Maharaj in 9 ways: hearing, chanting, offering prayers, worshipping the deities. In 9 ways he mentions full surrender, acting as a friend, acting as a servant, and serving the lotus feet. And those instructions were expanded into 64 forms by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and those instructions were imparted by Lord Chaitanya personally to Sri Rupa Goswami, and then Mahaprabhu asked Rupa Goswami to elaborate on this, on the Bhakti Tattva, and based on the instruction by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Rupa Goswami wrote Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, which is summarized by Srila Prabhupada's Nectar of Devotion. So these 64 items are described in details one by one, each chapter 7-8 items and continued. But right now we are just going through the names just to give us an overall picture, and then we will go through all the 64 items in details. The first 5 we saw were taking shelter of a spiritual master, getting initiated from a spiritual master, serving the spiritual master, hearing from the previous acharyas, for us it is the 6 Goswamis and Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Saraswati Thakur and their teachings coming in the line of the previous acharyas, and then making inquiries from the spiritual master how to make spiritual progress. And then we saw various other items like following Ekadashi Vrata, being being unattached to whatever good or bad comes, benefit or in gain or loss, being equipoised. Then we saw not building costly temples. Like we can read quickly if we want to summarize, we can just read them. Being prepared to give up anything material for the satisfaction of Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. This means that when we are engaged in devotional service of Krishna, we must be prepared to give up something that we may not like to give up. And also we have to accept something that we may not like to accept. Residing in a holy place like Vrindavan and Dwarka, accepting only what is necessary, or dealing with the material world only as far as necessary, observing Ekadashi Vrata, worshipping like banyan trees, or for us specifically Tulasi. One should rigidly give up the company of non-devotees. One should not instruct a person who is not desirous of accepting devotional service. One should not be very enthusiastic about constructing costly temples or monasteries. One should not try to read too many books, nor should one develop the idea of earning his livelihood by lecturing on or professionally reciting Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, one should not be neglectful in ordinary dealings. So we discuss some details and we will discuss in a lot more detail individually. Now, this is where we are beginning. One should not be under the spell of lamentation in loss or jubilation in gain. Now, I like the word spell because it's like when there is certain loss or when things don't go the way we want, then that lamentation is quite overwhelming to us to such an extent that it's actually a false ego. We become too much self-absorbed and why this happened to me or what will people think about me now. So and we become too much self-conscious, and that's where the lamentation also comes. Um, and then jubilation and gain. I mean, both the cases, the false ego takes. Basically, there is a kick in gain, which makes us feel successful, um, empowered, or various emotions, and then again we become too much self-absorbed. So jubilation and lamentation, anyways, if we don't see the hand of Krishna, then that also becomes um, basically it's if we become, say, very, and some pride may come or some depression may come, and if we become very proud, then naturally whatever we are proud of, very soon we are going to lose it. Like Srila Prabhupada would say, fall comes, pride comes before fall. So anything we are like feeling very happy about, and anything, the moment we think I am the doer, there is a fall. Fall here does not mean that we give up chanting, but fall means we won't be able to do the same activity again till we take a humble position. So this always comes. So basically, it's a distraction. Then one should not disrespect the demigods. One should be very, very careful, because many times in ISKCON devotees deride speaking about Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma, which is not a very nice way to speak. Rather, one should worship Lord Shiva from the perspective of a Kshetrapal. Whenever we go to holy places, Lord Shiva deities are there. First, we bow down to Lord Shiva because Lord Shiva gives us entrance into the Dham. That's why he's called Kshetrapal, or the protector of Dham. So our attitude towards Lord Shiva should be, yes, he's a topmost devotee of the Lord. Just like if we respect devotees and if we respect our spiritual master, if we respect Srila Prabhupada, then how can we not respect Lord Shiva, who is described as the topmost Vaishnava? So, and any demigod, even Indra, sometimes we deride, but I have seen my spiritual master speaking like, with all due respect to Indra, we understand this particular pastime is in Srimad Bhagavatam just for us to learn. It's an experiential kind of, we learn from someone else's mistake. And that's why Sukadev Goswami is speaking, but we cannot deride him. Or any demigods. Rather, one should understand that all the demigods are servants of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yes, some of them may have material desires, some of them, but everybody is now, for example, just there is Maya Devi. Sometimes we deride Maya Devi or Durga Mata, but then there is a story where if you go to Mayapur, there is Maya Devi or Durga Mata. She is praying to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and she's Chaitanya. She was doing austerity to receive a darshan of Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya appeared, and then Maya Devi asked Lord Chaitanya, "What kind of service you have given me? I want everyone to come close to you, but you have given me the service to keep those who are attached in this material world." And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu smiled and he says, "Yes, it's a service." But then her mood still is, I mean, she's actually crying in front of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So any form of deriding demigods is not very nice, because it's not a, I mean, we cannot speak, should not deride any living entity, but to speak about those who are entrusted by the Lord. If all the demigods, the Lord have given them service, whatever service they have. So in order to establish Krishna's supreme personality of Godhead, yes, it's a fact, but at the same time, does not give us the license to deride anyone or to disrespect anyone. One should not give unnecessary trouble to any living entity. I mean, we all have our own experiences. The moment we give trouble to somebody, whoever that person is, immediately it will affect our chanting. It comes under sadhu ninda to give, or we may not necessarily criticize, but if we trouble, in Hindi, like अगर आप किसी के दिल को आहत पहुंचाओगे तो reaction तो आएगा. And another thing, karma also works. If we give trouble to any living entity, it's going to come back to us tomorrow. One should carefully avoid the various offenses in chanting the holy name of the Lord or in worshipping the deity in the temple. So one should not be neglectful. Like, for example, worshipping the deity in the temple. Now, some of you may be worshipping, but I think many are not yet worshipping the deities in the temple. But there are many offenses which we will also discuss in detail about the offenses to the deities. We will discuss them. In summary, those should be avoided. Like offenses when we go into the temple, those should be avoided. They will come. And one should carefully avoid the various offenses in chanting the holy name. So if we want our chanting to advance, then one must carefully avoid the 10 offenses. For this particular reason, in all ISKCON temples, every day in the morning, the 10 offenses are read. It's our responsibility to read those 10 offenses. And I think one class we discussed 10 offenses here. Did we ever discuss 10 offenses here in our classes?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, okay, thank you. So we discussed in the past the 10 offenses. So one should be aware of those 10 offenses and carefully avoid them. One should read them and one should figure out which of them are my weak point, and then one should carefully avoid them. There are 3 stages in chanting. One is Nam Aparad, one is Nam Abhas, one is Shuddha Nam. Nam Aparad is where we don't care about offenses and we just live the life the way we want. Nam Abhas is when we are aware and we are very carefully avoiding. And we are kind of successful in avoiding, very careful life, and we are becoming absorbed and we get an experience, a shadow experience of the holy name. That is Nam Abhas. Nam Abhas is like the dawn. Like there is darkness is compared to Nam Aparad. Dawn means fake light, fade light is there, but you cannot see the sun. That is Nam Abhas. Means you are experiencing a shadow of Shuddha Nam. That is only possible when we avoid offenses. And then Shuddha Nam is actually you see the sun. So one should, Bhakti Tit Maharaj says that one should understand that if we are not able to go deep in our experience of the holy name, it must be because of offenses only. Offenses is not only limited to offending a devotee, but then it includes 9 more. And the root cause of all the offenses, some of the offenses which are very difficult to give up, and because of which we are not able to make significant progress in our Krishna consciousness, is to maintain material attachments. Even after understanding so many instructions on this matter, is we hear, but then we still maintain material attachments. What those material attachments for us, it's an individual call, but it's between us and the Lord who will guide us that, okay, this is something we are attached to, or this is something we are getting attached to. So be careful, because the moment we become attached to material things, it's difficult to feelingly take shelter of Krishna, or our consciousness becomes absorbed in those attachments. And the root cause of all the offenses is described as to be inattentive while chanting. Inattention in chanting is described in 3 ways by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He says one kind of inattention is jadiya. Jadiya means laziness in chanting. Laziness in chanting means we are not enthusiastic to chant. Oh, we have to chant. Oh, we will see later. Oh, we have to chant. It's so difficult. Maybe we'll see in the night. In the night, we have to chant. Okay, somehow I will chant. So laziness. Like just like for example, we are not so lazy when it comes to eating prasad. Like if we, the moment breakfast is there, lunch is there, dinner is there, we're like, okay. And if you know that something nice is cooked, then we're enthusiastic to experience it. So likewise, we don't say afternoon, oh, I am hungry, but why waste time in eating? Let me directly eat tomorrow, or let me eat in the evening. No, we actually leave everything and we are ready to eat now. So we are enthusiastic. So likewise, enthusiastic about chanting. Then there is distraction. Is we are chanting, but mind goes or mind runs here and there. Um, that is also kind of inattention. Another kind of inattention I recently heard is I was sharing with some devotees recently. Is one kind of inattention is when we don't pronounce properly, like Hare Krishna Krishna Ram Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Ram 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 Hare Krishna Krishna Ram 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 Hare. So then we should take a pause and ask ourselves, what is the mantra I am chanting? Is it really the Hare Krishna Maha mantra? Kali Santran Upanishad says, Iti Sodakshanam Nam Nam Kali Kalmashunashanam. If you chant the 16 names of the Lord, the effect of Kali will be destroyed. And that's what we want to do. So it's mentioned 16, not 15 words, not 14 words, not 18 words. It has to be 16 words. Three things that are described in chanting is 3 P's. One is pace, one is pronunciation, and one is posture. That one should not be like lying on the bed and chanting. There has to be a particular posture. It's not necessarily you have to sit on ground. You can sit on a couch, but at least a posture which helps, especially if we sit with back erect, raise head and call out, you will see something will open up within our heart. The posture has a lot of emphasis. You will see it if you try it. Posture, then pace. Pace means generally, I mean, sometimes we chant too slow, sometimes too fast, but usually devotees on an average take the same amount of time for the whole 16 rounds as they take for one round. So constant pace, it can be anything. It can be 10 minutes around, 8 minutes around, or 6 minutes around. But pace, posture, and then pronunciation, it should be clear, should not eat the mantra. Generally, last Hare Hare, in the first mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, 1 or 2 words may get missed, or at the end, it may get missed. So it should be clear because holy name is Nama Chintamani Krishna Chaitanya Ras Vigraha Purna Shuddha Nitya Mukta Abhinnatam Nama Namina. It is pure and it is desire fulfilling. The name can fulfill all the desires. The name itself have Nam Roop Guna Leela. The name, the form, the qualities, the pastimes, everything is invested in, all the energy is invested within the Lord. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Nam Nam Akari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis. I have invested. Mahaprabhu said, all the Nam Nam Akari Bahuda. Nam Nam Akari means in so many names. Bahuda Nija Sarva Shakti. So Krishna has invested Sarva Shaktis, all his potencies in these names, like Krishna and Govinda. So these names have everything. It's like it's like a seed. From the seed you can grow the whole, it will become a small sapling, and then it will further grow into a vine, and then into a plant, and then into a big tree. So everything is there in the seed. So the holy name is like a seed form, and all the energies are invested within the name. It's up to the mercy of, we are dependent on the mercy of the name to reveal to us the Lord. The name will give us Krishna, because name, inside the name, Krishna is present. Although Krishna is present inside the name, it depends upon the free will of Krishna to reveal us through his name or not to reveal us. That's up to the Lord. So, so it's important to please the holy name. Scriptures refer to the holy name as Nam Prabhu. Nam Prabhu means, and Sachindran Maharaj wrote a book. If you want, you can search the book. It's called The Living Name. The Living Name, which basically emphasizes that it's not a material sound. Living name means it's conscious. Everything is there and it's not different from the Lord. there is a verse which says, Abhinnatvam nama namino. Abhinna. Bhinna means separate. Abhinna means they're not different. Nama namino. Nama means name, and namino means the possessor of the name. So, name and the possessor of name are non-different. Because everything in Krishna consciousness is absolute. So everything is there, all the Nija Sarva Shakti, all the Shaktis are there, and then Niyamita Smarne na Kalaha, and there is no rules and regulation, na Kala, there is no time. Niyamita Smarane, and to remember it, there is no Niyam. Those things are not there, but attentiveness is needed. You don't, if you're not clean, not a problem. If you're not chanting on any proper time, not a problem. But if you are not attentive, if you're not trying to be attentive, then the name will not reveal. So since it's a Nam Prabhu, it's a living name, we want to please the living name, so the living name bestow Lord's potency to us. Like one devotee mentions that it's all about how much mercy we are extracting from the holy name. Some people may chant, and one devotee said holy name is like a medicine. It can have any, it's like a pill. It can have any salt in it, or it may not have any salt in it. If it has lot of salt in it, it will purify us. If it does not have any salt in it, then the effect will be very minimal, like a placebo. So likewise, we are taking the holy name, but if the holy name does not absorb us, then the effect will be minimal. But the holy name absorbs us, then we will become purified very quickly. And also, to be absorbed or not to be absorbed is not up to us. We may think that why my mind is so distracted, why my mind is not listening, but it's not because of our mind actually. It is because of offenses that the holy name is not showing its mercy to us. When we are able to chant in absorption, it's not we who are chanting, it's the holy name who is making us chant. It's the mercy in the holy name who is absorbing us. The absorption is forced upon us. We may think ahankara vimudatma kartahamiti manyate. We may think out of ahankar, out of all ego, it's because of me I'm not getting absorbed. But actually, the holy name is not bestowing his mercy for me to be absorbed. Now, for me to please the holy name, then we have to avoid the offenses. And that's why it becomes important, because if you offend a person, how can you expect a reciprocation? You expect a reciprocation only by if a person is pleased, he will give you blessings. So likewise, if the holy name is pleased, he will give you blessings. And then we are able to absorb ourselves. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, it's the name which descends. He says, when the name descends from Vrindavan into the region of my heart, then that vibrates my tongue. So he is not telling that I am chanting with my tongue, but he is telling the holy name descends in the region of my heart that make my tongues vibrate. And we all have experience. If we are mentally chanting sometimes, say we are doing something and mentally chanting, it's not that we consciously think of chanting, but it's something that chanting will naturally come to our tongue. And naturally we will start vibrating the holy name. So it's not up to us to vibrate the holy name all the time. Also, it's up to the holy name to come and be with us on our tongue. So really, the holy name, if we don't act in our life in a way that pleasing the holy name, then we are on a stage of nam aparad. Nam aparad means I am who I am, I will do what I want to do, and that's about it. And change, I cannot change. Avoiding offenses, sadhuninda, I cannot do that. Or being inattentive, no, it's too difficult for me. Then okay, I mean, then it will be gradual progress, and at some point of time, because the holy name is more all merciful, the mercy will still descend, but the pace will be slow at some point of time. And the mercy of the holy name in that state, after few years of chanting, is that holy name will purify us enough that holy name will give us inspiration to now become more sincere. So that thought can come after some time, that can come now. So one of the thing is one should carefully avoid the various offenses in chanting the holy name of the Lord or in worshipping the deity in the temple. Then one should be very tolerant toward the blasphemy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna and his devotees. One should be very intolerant toward the blasphemy of Krishna or his devotees. If somebody criticizes Krishna, we should not uh, hear. We should always defend Krishna. That is love. Defend Krishna. Like for example, if somebody comes and if you love somebody and they speak against somebody whom you love, you are not going to listen. Like say your spouse or your children or your parents, somebody harms them verbally, you're not going to listen. It's your duty to defend. Likewise, somebody speaking ill of Krishna, it's our duty to speak against them. And likewise, devotees. If devotees are blasphemed, um, we should defend them, and you will please Krishna like anything if you defend devotees. Like just for example, if you have a child and you love the child and your child says something, um, um, and somebody scolds your child and then somebody else defend your child, you will be very happy with those who defended your child, basically. Or in other words, devotees are very dear to Krishna. When we glorify devotees or when we protect devotees or when we defend devotees, if somebody blasphemes them, then that devotee is so pleased with us and Krishna is so pleased with us. Hey, he protected my devotee. And the holy name and Krishna are not different. Okay, now we are moving on. One should decorate the body with tilak. So we will discuss this in detail, but tilak is like there is two lines and then there is a tulsi leaf. These two lines represents the lotus feet of the Lord. These tilak are put in 13 places in the body, both by ladies and gentlemen. They put the tilak in 13 places of the body. And what are those places we put the tilak and why we put the tilak? um, we will see this when we discuss in detail, but just a glimpse. There is a particular quote which says that if one dies with the tilak on their body, they don't have to see the face of Yamaraj. Yamaraj is who uh, decides our next activities, which birth, what kind of body, what kind of suffering. So Yamaraj is one who punishes us for all our wrongdoings. So we don't want to see Yamaraj. Although he's a pure devotee of the Lord, it is his service to punish miscreants. Pure devotee of the Lord. He is a Mahajan. Yamaraj is a Mahajan. So one should decorate the body with the tilak. In marking such tilak, sometime one may write Hare Krishna on the body. It's not something that we usually do. But if somebody wants to write Hare Krishna in their body with the tilak, go ahead. One should accept flowers and garlands that have been offered to the deity and the spiritual master and put them on one's body. If guru or devotee, suppose if devotee give you a garland offered to the Lord, or if guru gives you a garland, accept it and put it on you. It is said that when we put the garland offered to the Lord around our body, Maya loosens her grip on us. The material energy. We will be able to overcome the material energy just by wearing the garland on our body. I saw many devotees putting a garland on their body and then chanting. Any Maha garland they take and they chant. Now, why do they do that? They are not doing it because they want to look beautiful or they want to feel, see, I'm a great person, I have garland. That's how, one sees fault in oneself and reflect onto others. So they are not putting garland because of this reason. They are putting because they want to overcome the material energy. So if you have a garland, wear on them. And then once you wear the garland, you can keep it for a day. Now, how do you discard the garland? Put it on a polythene, cover it, and put it in a trash bag. In India, generally, we flow it in a holy river or we dug under the ground out of respect. But in US, we just put it so that other dirty things don't touch. So we put it in a normal polythene bag. and then we put in a trash. But yeah, there is no need. I have seen many devotees keeping garland for 2-3 months in their rooms. There is no need. After 1-2 days you wear, and then, but yeah, if you receive a garland, put it on one's body and respect it as Lord's mercy. It is said that anything which touches the Guru, a pure devotee, or Krishna, get the quality of Krishna. And because Guru or pure devotee, the quality same as Krishna, Sakshat Dharitvena Samasta Sastra, non-different from Krishna. So when those flowers that are offered to the Lord, when we touch them, we become spiritualized. And that's what we do. The lamp is offered, we take the lamp, we purify our eyes and mind and consciousness by touching it to our eyes. We purify them spiritually. When we take a flower offered to the Lord, Pujari gives, we smell it, we purify our nose by smelling that is offered to the Lord. So in that way, they all get a spiritual touch. They all are spiritualized. Likewise, when the food is offered to Krishna, the food is spiritualized. And when we eat it, it purifies our tongue and our consciousness. And it pacifies the demand of the tongue for tasting um, uh, tasty foodstuffs. One devotee was sharing that whenever we eat something in a temple, it's very satisfying, but otherwise, when we eat at home, it's not so satisfying. So, I mean, it just depends upon one's devotion. Because in temple, usually, Brahman devotees, they cook and they offer with a lot of love and devotion. The taste, I mean, the satisfaction one received in the food is dependent upon one's consciousness. And that's why the more we progress, the more we advance in our Krishna consciousness, whatever we cook will have that much taste and satisfaction. That's why Prabhupada will give devotees one small piece of, like he will take an apple and cut it into 30 pieces, a very small piece, and he will give that small piece to devotees, and devotees will feel tripped, satisfied, because Prabhupada's devotion is very intense. Anything Prabhupada would cook would be so pleasing and tasty because his devotion. And naturally, the person whose food taste the best in the entire creation is Srimati Radharani, because her devotion is the topmost. Prabhupada would say, who is Srimati Radharani? Prabhupada would say, she's a topmost devotee of Krishna. So anything she cooks is like, because Krishna is the devotion. So it's the devotion which is satisfying to the heart. Otherwise, we may go to restaurant and get the most tastiest food. We think that is the most tastiest and we will not be satisfied. When we are not satisfied, now we want more. We want all different kind of foodstuffs. But when it is actually prasad, and when it is offered with love and devotion, then even if it's not very luxuriant with respect to oil and ghee and butter and various preparation skills, even if it is not, it will be very pleasing that no more demands will remain. That's why when we eat prasad, we say the tongue is very demanding and it is the most difficult sense to overcome. Please let me partake the remnants of your foodstuff so I can satisfy the demand of my tongue. So why we came there? That has, yeah, okay. So whatever is of any flower or garland that is offered to deity and spiritual master, one should put on one's body. One should learn to dance before the deity. It is said that when we dance before the deity, so many sins go away. And we don't have to do like bhangra or disco dance in front of deity, but it has to be elegant. And elegant means, Srila Prabhupada shows a Swami step, those who know, means one step forward, one step backward, one step forward, one step backward. And Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So it's a call of devotion. And it is said that when we dance, then we don't dance to show to others, see how good dancer I am, or we don't want to impress anyone. But when we dance, our dancing posture is a way of expressing our devotion to the Lord, and our consciousness should be, my Lord, I am doing it for your pleasure. Just like if somebody, in our childhood, there were some dance performances and we see the dance performances give us some pleasure. Likewise, now we are performing a dance performance for our Nitai Gauranga or for our Radha Krishna and for their pleasure. And when we do that, when they are pleased, we are pleased. There is a particular story of one devotee, her name was Chandrakanti. She was a Gandharvi, took birth in a heavenly planet. She wanted to please Krishna. She danced before Krishna whole night. She was dancing, nobody was watching and nobody was there. Only she was there. There was a deity of Krishna and she danced whole night. My Lord, I want to please you. I need your mercy. I'm doing this for you. Please show your mercy. And by next morning, she attained perfection. Just one night dancing. But it's not the one night dancing thing. It's her intention was only and only to please the Lord. And when we do something fully to please Krishna, it becomes very attractive. Anything done only to please Krishna becomes very attractive. And that's why the most attractive dancers are the gopis, because they have the highest amount of love for Krishna. Now, everything is based on one's devotion. The more devotion is there, everything we do will be attractive. Our dressing will be attractive. Our looks will be attractive. It is said that how beautiful a devotee looks in spiritual world is proportionate to how much devotion they have for Krishna. Whether it is beauty, whether it is what they cook, whether it is how they dance, even the fame, how much famous one is also dependent upon how much devotion one has to Krishna. So it's like, illusion is, I want beauty in myself, I want to dance nicely, I want to cook nicely. We're looking for skills. um, um, I want to be best in this thing. I want to be expert in these things. But then it's like chasing after those which are not sold separately. Only in illusion we think they are sold separately. But when we try to focus on Krishna, then fame will follow, um, beauty will follow, um, whatever qualities, everything. That's why a devotee is described as Daksha means he's expert, he's very attractive. And it's the attractiveness is grows because of one's own devotion. So one should learn to dance before the deity, one should learn to bow down immediately upon seeing the deity or the spiritual master. So this is like taking a humble position. When we come in front of the Lord, bow down, train ourselves. There is austerity of body, austerity of speech, austerity of mind. This comes in 17th chapter Bhagavad Gita. Austerity of speech is speaking words which are truthful, which are pleasing, beneficial, reciting Vedic scriptures. Austerity of mind is keep it simple. Opposite of simplicity is duplicity, or inside mind different, outside mind different. Keep it simple. um, then peaceful, keep the mind peaceful. Austere, don't meditate on sense gratification. So satisfied. So these are austerity of mind. And austerity of body is to bow down before Guru and Krishna. And celibacy and simple dressing. So these are some of the austerities of body. So one should learn to bow down immediately before seeing the deity or the spiritual master. And then as soon as one visit a temple of Lord Krishna, one must stand up. If you sit in front of deities, then especially when Aarti is going on, stand up. When you are chanting, then you can sit down and chant. But when Aarti is going on, preferably stand up. When the Lord is worshipped, like for example, there is a concept of ovation. Like if somebody is very recognized, then everybody stands and claps for them. So likewise, it's a way of showing respect. So that's why we stand up. When the deity is being born for a stroll in the street, a devotee should immediately follow the procession. Everything is centered around respecting the deity or keeping the deity in the center. So when there's a procession of the deity, like a Rath Yatra or when the deity goes somewhere, the devotee should follow the deities, because to keep Krishna in the center or to please the Lord. Like, if you want to go and if you are going somewhere, everybody follows you, you feel like honored. Why is everybody following me? Why you are going wherever I'm doing? Why you are doing whatever I'm doing? Why you are following wherever I'm going? So likewise, we honor the Lord by following the procession. A devotee must visit a Vishnu temple at least once or twice a day, morning and evening. Rupa Goswami is like, he would live in Vrindavan. They would visit so many temples every single day. That's their sadhana. For us, regularly visit Krishna temples. Regularly visit. One should not be lazy in visiting a temple or taking the darshan of the Lord. Then one must circumambulate the temple building at least 3 times. And we do that, in a temple or Tulasi Devi. One must worship this is also a way to show respect. One must worship the deity in the temple according to the regulative principles. And we will discuss the rules of deity worship. One must worship according to the rules and regulations, not whimsically. Then one must render personal service to the deities. If you get a chance to personally serve the Lord, the deities, do it. One must do it, because by serving the deities personally, you will develop a relationship with them. And once you develop a relationship with them, they will capture your consciousness. Then when you chant, they may come. Then when you feel connection with them, then you can pray to them. So in some way, we should render service to the deities. But if we don't have deities at home, and if we don't have, suppose we are not allowed to go to the temple deities in the temple, then we can do some service to the deities, like make a garland, clean the temple hall, cook for the deities. So some form of service to the deities, and that will help us make relationship. One way to make relationship with the deity is through pujari. Because pujaris are very dear to the Lord, and if you serve the pujaris, service to pujaris will translate into service to deities. Then one must sing. One must sing because this is an opportunity to glorify the Lord. One should not be like Mon. Mon means Hare Krishna, everyone is singing, and we are like, as if it doesn't matter to me. But rather, we are actually, suppose sometimes we have glorification on birthdays. When it's somebody's birthday, then we all go around and glorify. So if somebody's birthday is there and everyone is glorifying, and we are like, I don't want to say anything. So, it's the person will feel like, why is Prabhuji not saying anything? So, but rather if we glorify, then they are happy that, oh, I was glorified. So likewise, we are here trying to glorify Krishna. So when Mahamantra is going on, Kirtan is going on, we should go in front of the Lord and we should sing. And the purpose of singing is, what is Hare Krishna Mahamantra? Hare Krishna Mahamantra is glorifying Krishna. What is Kirtan? The word Kirtan means to glorify. Kirtan is glorifying the Lord, pleasing the Lord. We are singing for their pleasure. Um, Then one must perform Sankirtan. Whenever there is opportunity, Sankirtan is very important. You will see Sankirtan will give you very deep experiences in your Krishna consciousness. Some of you may have experienced also, it is much easier to go deeper in our Krishna consciousness through Sankirtan than through our individual japa. Because in Sankirtan, all the devotees come together and put their devotion, offer their devotion. So whether it is Sankirtan, whether it is just chanting in association of devotees, it is way more powerful than chanting alone. Is chanting in devotees association. And likewise, doing Kirtan in association of devotees is way more powerful. So one must perform Sankirtan. And Sankirtan is not just limited to glorifying the Lord. Prabhupada would describe even distributing books as Sankirtan. Prabhupada would call it Brihad Mridanga, because Prabhupada would say Mridanga sound will go only 2-3 blocks, but Brihad Mridanga book distribution can go to different countries also. Prabhupada would say that is also Sankirtan. Prasadam distribution is Sankirtan. So there are many forms of Sankirtan. So one must perform Sankirtan. Then one must chant. I am sure everyone in the group which is chanting. One must offer prayers. And how do we offer prayers, and what prayers do we offer? What are the important, what are some kinds of prayers? And what prayers can we offer? We will discuss in more detail when we discuss all of these in specific things. We will discuss different quotes from scriptures on all of them. But some prayers that we can offer very simple is Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Shri Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. This is prayers to Panchatattva, prayers to Srila Prabhupada, or Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dino. This is prayers to Lord Krishna. Vanchakalpatarubhesha, this prayers to Vaishnavas. So some prayers we are regularly offering in our schedule anyhow. Those who are practicing Krishna consciousness, we know that. So some prayers are there. And some prayers we can offer specifically. Like if you have a particular desire or a particular mood, you can offer. All the songs of previous acharyas are prayers. It's like they're pouring their heart, begging for Lord's mercy. They're all prayers. So some prayers that you feel connected to, like for example, our Narottam Das Thakur is saying, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Koro More Toma Bina Ke Dayalu Jagata Samsare Patita Pavana Hetu Tava Avatar Mosamapatita Prabhu Napaive Aha Prabhu Nityananda Premananda Sukhi Kripa Balotana Koro Ami Boro Dukhi Daya Koro Sitapati Advaita Gosai Tava Kripa Bale Pai Chaitanya Nitai Aha Swarup Sanatana. So this goes. Now, if you see, it's prayer. Mahaprabhu, show your mercy. I am Patita, I am fallen. And you are Patita Pavana, you have come to purify the fallen souls. Please bestow your mercy. O Nityananda Prabhu, please show your glance onto me. I am very dukhi. I am very much suffering. Every day I am suffering. I am not able to advance. I am not able to go deeper. I am struggling in my sadhana, in my seva. I have no service attitude. I feel like quite hopeless. Please show your mercy. O Advaita Acharya, anybody who receive your mercy, get the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda Prabhu. Please show your mercy unto me. O Roop Sanathan, O Raghunath Das Goswami, Raghunath Bhatt Goswami, Jiva Goswami, Gopal Bhatt Goswami, Srinivas Acharya, Narottam Das Thakur, O great Vaishnavas, please show your mercy unto me. This is prayers. So whatever prayers one feel connected to, one must offer prayers. And then there is one must recite notable prayers. Now, simple prayers can be ours. Simple prayers can be it. What we recite is actually a notable prayer, which is prayers by the Goswamis, prayers by Queen Kunti. Like Kunti Maharani says, "Let my affection, just like the Ganges, continuously flow till the Ganges meets the ocean. Let my attachment continuously flow towards you." Let, just like the goal of Ganges is the ocean, likewise let my goal be attachment to you. Kunti Devi says, we were discussing in recent Bhagavatam classes, Kunti Maharani prays that please sever my affection to Vrishnis and Pandavas, because Pandavas are her children and Vrishnis is her mother side, like Maharaj Ugrasena, Vasudev. So they are Vrishnis, and Pandu is her son. So Kunti Maharani is praying, please sever my affection to Pandus and Vrishnis so that my affection can flow towards you alone. I want to fully be absorbed in my entire affection. I want to invest in you. So this is Kunti Maharani prayers, and she prays, my Lord, please, if troubles makes you come closer to us again and again. Whenever we are in trouble, we have you with us. When Draupadi went through trouble, Krishna came. When Mahabharat war was having and the Pandavas, Krishna came. So wherever during the last year sacrifice, or when they went to Khandaprasth, which later on became Indraprasth, Krishna came. So Krishna is always coming and accompanying them in various ways. So and when everything is happy, then Krishna leaves. After Mahabharat war, Krishna left to Dwarka. So Kunti Devi is telling that for them, Krishna will personally come whenever they are in troubles. For us, when we are in trouble, we will call out to Krishna more deeply. And when everything is nice and goody, then then we are okay. Then we are happy without him. So let more trouble come to us so that you don't have to leave us. Now we won the war and now we are the king. Now no problem. And Krishna is like, now I have to go to Dwarka. So Kunti Devi is like, no, my lord. Let problem comes, but you stay with us. Because if you go, we lose our lives. You are our life. So these are some notable prayers. Vritrasura is notable prayer. Dhruv Maharaj is praying, my lord, please give me devotee association. Prahlad Maharaj is praying, my lord, as long as there are fallen souls, please let me take birth again and again so I can tell them about your glory and bring them closer to you. So Prahlad Maharaj has a mode of preaching. Dhruv Maharaj has a particular mode of association and begging forgiveness. Kunti Maharani has a particular notable prayers. Vritrasura, Prahlad Maharaj is telling, let me first offer my obeisances to my spiritual master, because of whom I am standing in front of you. He guided me the way. Vritrasura is also asking for association of Narada Muni, because he is missing that association. Because of him, Maharaj Chitraketu in his previous life attained perfection. So Vritrasura is asking that association of Narada Muni. So these are notable prayers, or the prayers by Goswamis, prayers by our acharyas, like Srila Prabhupada prayer. Prabhupada would pray that bhakti nahi, ved nahi, mere paas na to bhakti hai, na mere paas ved ka gyan hai, when he came. And Prabhupada is telling that if you have brought me here, you must have some purpose. मेरे पास तो कुछ है नहीं, तो मेरे जीवन को सार्थक करो. If it's up to you to make me successful or not, आप सार्थक करोगे तो कुछ होगा. मैं तो आप पे डिपेंड करता हूँ. मेरे पास कोई क्वालिफिकेशन नहीं है. मेरा केवल एक ही क्वालिफिकेशन है. Only one qualification I have, that is my Guru Maharaj Kripa. My Guru Maharaj somehow liked me and he brought me here. I have no qualification. So when we develop that, when we get that mood, it's a notable prayer. So one must recite notable prayers. One must taste Mahaprasad, food from the very plate offered before the deities. Mahaprasad mile na, kha lo usko. It's direct mercy of the Lord. One must drink Charnamrit. When we go to temple, take Charnamrit. Why? Because one who takes Charnamrit, disease don't touch them, and untimely death don't come to them. One must smell the incense and flowers offered to the deities. When we smell them, the consciousness and the sense of smell is purified. Because we are many times attached to somebody puts a nice perfume and feel like wow. So that's actually contaminate. That creates a material desire. But when we smell the incense and flower offered to the deities, that purifies us. So when it is said, I'm forgetting how this Narad Muni's definition. He says bhakti is engaging the senses in Krishna's service. Bhakti Ruchyate. Don't remember the first line. Rishi Kena Sevana Bhakti Ruchyate. So Lord of the senses is Krishna. So when Rishi Kesha Sevanam, Rishikesh is Krishna. When senses are used in the service of the master of the senses, who is Krishna. That is bhakti. Bhakti ruchyate. Use the hand in cleaning the floor. Use the leg in going to temple. Use the nose to smell the deity, to the fragrance. Use the mouth to taste Krishna prasad and to speak about Krishna. Use the eyes to see the deity of Krishna. Use the ears to hear about Krishna, to hear about the name, the form, the qualities, the pastimes of Krishna. Use the body to embrace the devotees and to serve the devotees. This is bhakti. Bhakti means practically using all our senses in the service of Krishna. One must touch the lotus feet of the deity. I mean, usually in temple we cannot do that unless we are Brahman initiated, but we have deities at home, take the dust from their feet. I know one devotee, Jagat Guru Prabhu, whenever he goes to Radha Kunj Bihari, he take the dust and put it on his forehead. So this is the first thing. Take that dust from the Lord and put it on your head. Now continuing, one must see the deity. These are the last 5 we will see today. One must see the deity with great devotion. When we go in front of the deity, we should take a humble mood. And the with great devotion is like when we go in front of deity, my Lord, please help me. And then open your heart. First, we should treat the deities like the closest friend. Krishna says, Suhridam Sarva Bhutanam. He says, I am the Suhridam, friend, Sarva Bhutanam, of all living entities. He is the best friend of all living entities. And if you see physically also, the friends stand next to us, but the Lord is sitting in the region of the heart. He is closest to the heart. Who is friend? A friend is one who is very close to us. Who is a friend? A friend is a well-wisher. Who is a friend? A friend is who listens to us. Who is a friend? A friend is one who helps us when we are in need. So that is Krishna. Krishna will always help us when we are in need. Krishna will never ditch us. Krishna does not have any swarth. Like people in this material world may have many ulterior motives. Krishna does not have any ulterior motive. Krishna just wants us. Where can you find who is a friend? A friend is one who loves us and you care about us. How can you find somebody who loves us more than Krishna? Because the love that Krishna has for all living entity is ananta. It's unlimited. There is no foundation. There is no. It's like ataha. It's like ataha ananta. Eternal love. That's the kind of love Krishna has for us. So how can we find a better friend for him? It doesn't exist. So when we go in front of the deities, we know here is our well-wisher. Here is somebody who is wanting us, or who is wanting us more than how much we want him. But he is silent, but he is most active. He is silent, but he is most active, because he will do what is best for us. And everything he does is best for us. So we go with all devotion. Krishna, please help me. And then open your heart. Krishna, you have been helping me so much. You have brought me here. You are, and then glorify him. Krishna, you are all attractive. Krishna, you capture the heart of all living entity. Krishna, you take care of your devotees. You are Bhakta Vatsala. You love your devotees so much. Krishna, when will I able to love you back? When will I able to develop my relationship with you back? In whichever way, one should see the deity with great devotion. Any problem you have, go to the Lord and say. I know some devotees, while doing service, they talk to Krishna. They talk like some devotees do backup service. They themselves shared with me. That's how I know. So when they are doing some kind of backup or cleaning or whatever, they know behind the door Krishna and Radha are standing. And while doing jharu lagana ya pocha lagana ya whatever service they are doing, they are praying to Radha Gopijana Vallabha, please kripa karo mere upar. Either they pray for their children, or they pray for their wife, or they pray for their husband or family members, or whatever. Some they talk, they communicate. So one must see the deity with great devotion. One must offer aratik at different times, which is there in the temple. If you are doing at home, one arati is sufficient. And arati is a reception. You receive the Lord. When Krishna comes from Gaucharan Leela, where he goes to graze the cows, when he comes back in the evening, Mother Yashoda performs arati to him. Every time he comes back home, she performs arati. Arati is coming from Vaikuntha and from Golok Vrindavan. That's where arati. And what we are doing is we are doing the same thing that is done in spiritual world. Prabhupada would say, whatever we are doing here, same activities we do after going back there also. So there is no difference between performing devotional service here and there. But the difference is unripe mango and a ripe mango. Here we do whatever devotional service because it is not pure, it is unripe mango. Means it doesn't taste so good. But the same thing is ripe mango. There, when we go there, we'll do arati. What else we will do? We will glorify him. We will chant his name. Krishna, where are you? We may not chant the Maha Mantra, but we will constantly chant his name. We will remember him. We'll remember his pastimes. We will serve him. Anything he uses, we will smell it. We will take it as Mahaprasad. We'll wear the cloth left by him. Speak about him, hear about him, serve him, glorify him, and various things that we do here to serve him or make food for him, feed him. We will do the same thing there also. So devotional service is same. Here we serve the devotees. After going there also we'll serve the devotees. Here we are serving under guidance of devotees. There also we'll serve under guidance of devotees. Everything we do here, we do there also. But there, we are doing it with full pure devotion. So it's very relishable, like ripe mango. So here we are training ourselves. These are the activities that are descending from Golok Vrindavan. And we are just doing it, purifying our heart so we can have the adhikar to go back there. One must hear about the Lord and his pastimes from Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. Very, very important is one must hear Srimad Bhagavatam and one must read Bhagavad Gita, one must read Srimad Bhagavatam. And one must hear also. Prabhupada says in the verse, Nashtha prayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki. So there it says nityam bhagavati sevaya, every day serve Bhagavat. Prabhupada says you serve Bhagavat, either a devotee Bhagavat or book Bhagavat. You serve devotee Bhagavat by hearing from him, and you serve book Bhagavat by reading him. So when we do these two, when we hear from devotees and who are reciting Bhagavatam, and when we read Bhagavatam ourselves, Nasta Prayesho Bhadreshu, everything, all the abhadras, all the impurities within our heart are almost removed to zero, or the heart becomes purified. So one must hear about the glories of the Lord and his pastimes from Bhagavad Gita Srimad Bhagavatam. One must pray to the deity for his mercy. And this is similar to seeing the deity with great devotion. I mean, the difference between offering prayer to the deity is something we discuss, and seeing the deity with great devotion. We know when we are seeing the deities out of pride, and when we are seeing the deities from with the humility in our heart, with devotion, in that proper mood. And only in that proper mood can we offer prayers from our heart. So one is a preparation, one is an action. Seeing the deity with great devotion, offering prayer to the deity for his mercy. One should remember the deity. You can remember the deity while chanting. You can remember the deity when you see any picture of the deity. You can remember in any form you remember the deity. That's the proper use of the mind. Krishna says, Man mana bhava mad bhakto madhya jimam namaskuru mam evaisasi satyam te parijano priyosi me. So Krishna says, Man mana, always think of me. So we can think of Krishna in so many ways. We can think of deities of Krishna. We can think of a verse from Bhagavad Gita Bhagavatam. It's called Mantropasana. Mantropasana means you are remembering a verse in your mind, and that's also seeing Krishna. That's also being Krishna conscious. Or you can remember any qualities or any pastimes, or but one should remember the deity. So okay, we discussed till 25. There are 20 more we will discuss, and then we will jump into discussing all of them in detail. And let's see if there is any discussion today. Any questions, reflections?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I have one question, Prabhuji.
Mataji, Radha Bhavani.
Prabhuji, when we are chanting, जब हम लोग chanting करते हैं, जब शुरू करते हैं, तो प्रभुजी हम लोगों को every time जैसे हमारे गुरु महाराज हैं, तो first उनको मतलब ओम ना मतलब से प्रणाम मंत्र every time करना चाहिए प्रभुजी, every round.
Not necessary. एक बार starting में करो काफी है.
Yeah, Prabhuji, this is my question. कि every time when we start the chanting, so we do, because Prabhuji मैं क्या करती हूँ, every round करते समय प्रणाम मंत्र करती हूँ. जैसे one round done हुआ, then again मैंने फिर प्रणाम मंत्र किया. So it's every time or only for one time, Prabhuji, only one, right?
Well, the answer can be at least one time. and
Okay,
rest is
Prabhu.
optional.
ओके प्रभु जी. एंड देन प्रभु जी जैसे बीच में मैं अपना बता रही हूँ प्रभु जी, जैसे मेरी बेटियां हैं या कुछ बीच में चैंटिंग करते समय शी टॉक एंड देन आई रिस्पॉन्स. सो देन अगेन सेम क्वेश्चन प्रभु जी कि प्रणाम मंत्र करके देन स्टार्ट करना चाहिए कि देन स्टार्ट रेगुलर विद.
Yeah,
Right.
no need of pranam mantra, but if
Okay.
you want to, you are more than welcome. It's not
Okay.
a necessity.
Okay, thank you so much Prabhu ji. This is
Thank
my
you.
question. Thank you so
Hare
much.
Krishna. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Anything else? Any other question?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Shweta Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji. Prabhuji, while chanting, maybe I have asked this question earlier also, but to get more deeper clarity, I'm just checking, Prabhuji. While chanting, either the absorption is that, or the concentration is through hearing what we chant, or contemplating or trying to visualize the Krishna in deity form or picture form. So what would be the correct way to?
Yeah, the correct way is to hear the name. Even if you visualize a deity form, the focus will be hearing the name. So our first perfection in chanting is attained through Nam Smaran. Nam Smaran is when you remember the name. Smaran means you meditate on the name. So the very easy way, very fast progress. Whatever you speak, you listen. And the mantra itself has all the potencies. There is no need to, like Prabhupada would say, there is no need to force ourselves. But if a particular form of the Lord is attractive to you, and if you remember, and while speaking the mantra, you should remember in such a way that remembrance should not take the hearing away. Hearing should accompany. Like if I say, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And if I say Hare Krishna and I'm visualizing Radha Krishna, and then I say Hare Krishna, then I say Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. So if I am remembering, but while remembering, I am conscious of the name, it's very good to remember.
Okay.
Did I
Okay.
answer?
Other than that, additionally, like I'm hearing what I chant. In addition to that, I should not get any other thoughts. Correct? Like I should not be carried away by other thoughts.
Other thoughts means related to Krishna?
Maybe day-to-day work, something like that, Prabhuji.
Yeah, day-to-day work, no. We should not be carried away by those. If the moment you remember, the mind is deviating, bring it back. But if a pastime of the Lord comes, if a quality of Lord comes, like you are chanting, and then just the thought comes, for example, what kind of thoughts? Like how Krishna helped Draupadi, how Krishna how Krishna reciprocated with the love of his devotees, however you remember, how Krishna was always there at the time of need. And then you feel like Krishna is so nice. Let those thoughts come. Anything connected to Krishna, let them come. Anything related to service of Krishna, focus, bring it back to the allowed things are the name, the form, the qualities, and the pastimes of Krishna allowed. Anything else, try to get them away and try to bring the mind back onto Krishna.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mata.
One more question, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Like when singing for deities in the temple, I may not be a very professional singer, or my voice may not be palatable to others, but I have a deep desire to sing glorifying the Lord. In that case, is it okay to sing in the temples, or what
Yeah,
should we do
okay,
about
thank you. Are you talking about leading Kirtan or are you talking about following the Kirtan?
Not like that, Prabhuji. Here in the temples, like usually monthly, once in a month, we have some bathing of the Lord deities. At that time, people used to sing. So it is not the Hare Krishna Kirtan, but people sing at that time, like the devotional songs. It is not the Kirtan. Yeah.
But I understood. Well, Mataji, if when we are in temple environment, if somebody allows us to sing and they are okay with what we want to sing, the song that we want to sing, devotional song. If the authorities, they are okay and they give us a chance, why not? Do sing. But make sure we are pleasing to the devotees. We do everything under guidance of devotees. But otherwise, if we are not leading, if somebody is leading, and then we put our heart in following, the result is the same, because for Krishna it doesn't matter whether we are singing or whether we are leading, but it's my offering to Krishna, that I am glorifying him through this kirtan. So we are singing. Does it answer?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Any other question anyone has?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yatin Prabhuji, yes.
Prabhuji, while chanting, if we think like we have skipped a beat and we do it again, is it okay? Or we have to do exactly one way? No,
Oh, so like you skipped 2 beats and chanted 1 mantra?
no, like we are chanting, but we thought we skipped it, but we might or we might not. So if
Oh,
we
in
do that beat again, is it okay? Or I mean,
So I'm trying to understand, Prabhuji. So you chanted 1 round and your feeling is I only chanted 107.
yes,
So let me chant 1 more mantra.
yes.
Yeah, chant as many mantras as you like, 24 hours.
No, yeah, I mean something in that context. Like suppose I'm chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, and the same time I'm making the beats further, and then I made a beat, but I don't know if I chanted it or not. So I stop and I chant again for that, because
Yeah,
just want to
perfect.
check that.
That's the right attitude. Yes, Prabhuji. Anyone else has anything to say, ask?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Shilata Mataji, yes.
Yeah, not about chanting. I had somehow I got this doubt, like devotees, once they reach Golokurundavan, right? In which form will they be to serve Krishna, Prabhuji? Like we leave our bodies here and we'll go as souls, right? So in which form the souls will be?
Yeah, okay. So Mataji, the form which we will take when we go back will be revealed to us in this life. Once we purify our heart and once we hear about Krishna, then we will be attracted to a particular relationship with Krishna. As a cowherd boy or as a cowherd girl, or like a parental relationship similar to Mother Yashoda and Nanda Baba. So we will have a particular attraction to a particular relationship. And then when we chant in an advanced stage, when we chant the holy name of Krishna, we will also start serving the Lord in that particular mood, in that particular rasa, we call it. And then we cultivate that relationship. And before you go back, you will know how you are going, what you will know everything about Vrindavan. It will be revealed to you in this life. So, okay, what form will we take there? It can be one of the 5 forms. In neutral relationship, like a tree or a grass or a flute or Yamuna, neutral relationship. In as a servant, as a friend, as a parent, or as a lover, like like gopis, as a lover. Any form is possible. What form we have, it's already we have a relationship with Krishna. Right now we have forgotten. Gradually, by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra and by hearing about Krishna from Srimad Bhagavatam, it will gradually awaken to the extent our heart is purified. And once we become self-realized, then once we go, we retain our original position. Does that answer, Mataji?
Yeah, Prabhuji. But I mean, people will have bodies over there, like that. I was like, yeah, as you said, yeah, trees, grass, even and all, right? Like if one got gopi or gopika from, like they will have their bodies to serve physically to Krishna.
Yeah, they are spiritual bodies, Mataji. So it is described just like Krishna's body is not material. Ishopanishad says Krishna's body does not have blood or veins or marrows or bones or anything. His body is Sachitananda. Then for us, we have a soul and then we have a body. For Krishna, it's only the soul. There is no body there. But it looks like a body. So it's like it's said that it's like a human-like form. But he's not a human. He has a human-like form. Likewise, once we go there, we have a body, but it's a spiritual body. Just for example, Narad Muni has a body. It's a spiritual body. When Ravana tried to kill Narad Muni through the sword went inside out and nothing happened. Narad Muni said, "You cannot kill me because my body is spiritual. Matter cannot touch me." Krishna also says the soul cannot be touched by wind or weapon or fire or water or anything. And likewise, the same soul expands and take a form. Actually, the soul itself, which is within the body right now in the region of the heart, that has a form, it just expands, take a akar. It can be a gopika, can be a cowherd boy, and that's a spiritual body. But when we fall down to the material world, it becomes 1/10,000th tip of a hair. So it self-realization is just awakening our spiritual body, which is already there, but we have forgotten. Does it answer?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other question?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Pravina Mataji.
One question,
Yes,
Prabhuji.
Mataji.
Dhanwad, Prabhuji. About the necessities that we have learned today, we realize, if we realize that we have some of the qualities, like, we have one or two qualities which are necessary, and we also realize that we don't have all the qualities that we need. In that case, to attain all the qualities, what do we do, Prabhuji?
Okay, so we need a certain qualities to realize ourselves. We have some qualities and some we are missing. So what is the question then?
Yes. Like, what best can be done to attain all the qualities?
Nothing else needs to be done. There are two things. One is Ananya Chinta Yanto Mam Yejana Paryupasate. And there Lord Krishna says Yoga Shimam Vahamiyaham. Yoga Shima Vahamiyam means those who are always engaged in my devotional service. I preserve what they have and I carry what they lack. So we don't have to develop all the qualities required for a particular service. Rather, if we are sincere in our hearing and chanting, Krishna will carry the qualities that we lack and will fulfill our service. He can carry by sending us some assistants who has those qualities that we lack, and with their association, the service will become complete. That's one way to look at it. But anyways, Krishna says, I will preserve what you have, I will carry what you lack. Another thing, it is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, when we engage in Krishna consciousness, all the qualities of demigods manifest in us. Right now, some of the qualities may be lacking, which are required, but by devotional service, they will come to us because Krishna has 64 qualities, and we develop the qualities of those whom we associate with. Through devotional service, we're associating with Krishna. By hearing about Krishna, by serving Krishna, by chanting Krishna's name, we are associating with Krishna. And by that association, we will slowly develop all the qualities of Krishna. So Prabhupada says, no extra endeavor is needed. Only by practicing Krishna consciousness, they will come. Prabhupada says, among all the Vaishnava qualities, say 21 or 26 Vaishnava qualities, he says 25 are Tathastha Lakshan, one is Sarup Lakshan. Tathastha Lakshan means Sarup Lakshan means primary quality, and 25 are auxiliary quality. And primary quality will give rise to other qualities. That's why only one primary quality, and that is surrender to Krishna. So when we are surrendered to Krishna, or more and more we are enthusiastic about becoming Krishna conscious, everything else will follow. You don't have to do anything. At the same time, we try to develop them. For example, if one quality I may lack is suppose anger. Suppose I become angry very much. Then I try my best to not become angry, but I cannot become successful by practice of Krishna consciousness. As I increase my mode of goodness, anger will go down, and I will naturally 100% develop that quality. But till that time, I fake not to become angry, or I fake to become enthusiastic, or whatever. I fake to be humble. I just keep trying, but the devotional service will make it my own. Because if I don't fake now, then I'll make mistakes. And then it will be difficult for me to become absorbed, because if I become angry and if I'm not enthusiastic to do anything Krishna consciousness, then I won't be able to grow also. So I fake, like Prabhupada would say, fake it till you make it. But ultimately, the main ingredient is our surrender to Krishna. That will give us everything. Does that answer, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you
you.
very much.
Anything else? Okay, very nice. So we will end here. Vancha kalpa tarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Anant Koti Vaishnavinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you very much. If I spoke anything wrong, please forgive me as a humble servant. Dandavat pranam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji.
Pranam Mata.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank
Hare
you,
Krishna.
Dandavat pranam. Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.